This is a video about how I took a 130k 54-foot boatyard find into this, a fully equipped, off-grid liveaboard cruiser ready to cross oceans. I did all the work myself with the help from SailBoat Telly's Christopher Foster and my friend JC the Groot, skipping legend. I did everything from the bottom of the keel to the top of the mast, new electrical systems, solar, lithium, sails, paint job, rudder rebuild, interior refit, and I did all of this for under 35k with the help of some sponsors which I'll talk about later in the video. The whole refit took me 6 months and I did all the work in the Bassimokopolis shipyard in Greece. This boat has now sailed across the Mediterranean and has been our home for over a year and has held up great. If you're considering a refit project for your next boat, this video could give you a good understanding of how much work might be involved and what the costs are. I hope it inspires you to do what I did. We now have a beautiful 54-foot sailboat and have probably saved about 100k by doing the work ourselves. I'm not a professional, so don't take any of this as instruction, but let it be a warning to what you might be getting yourself into if you want to try and do something similar. If you want to see some of the work in more detail, subscribe to the channel and you can watch the full-length individual project videos. This is how I made Voyager. This journey started when we had to pull out of a purchase from an other 54DS, which turned out to be, after inspection, pretty badly damaged. We found this boat SV away on an online listing located about a 6-hour drive from where we were. So with an open mind, we took the trip to see what we were dealing with. I'm going to look at it.
Yeah.
So this is Plan B.
This is Plan B.
Plan B. Plan A turned to shit.
Yeah.
So this is Plan B. It comes with a whisker pole. That's a good start. So this is a 2003. So it's been here for 2 years. So it was owned by a Swedish couple that then couldn't sail it because of COVID. So it's been here for 2 years on the hard. And
so aesthetically it needs work.
yeah, so it needs a bit of a scrub up. Probably needs repainting. We're going to take a look inside. So yeah, it needs mostly cosmetic work, really. It needs new sails, cosmetic work, new anti-foul, respray, probably. I don't think that will buff out by the looks of it. Looks promising. That part looks safe, which means it's better than the last one already. Bit of a wiggle.
The teak looks like it's in good condition.
Well, the teak's all new. So it had a new teak deck put on it like 2016, actually by Jeanneau. So yeah, the teak's in great condition, the deck is in good condition. Original mast, obviously. But yeah, so it's had new rigging. So new teak. Basically needs varnishing inside.
Structurally, everything's fine?
Yeah, structurally it looks fine, yeah. Like it started to peel away. Let's see there. So yeah. The boat seemed to be structurally in great condition. It needed a lot of new equipment and a lot of cosmetic work inside and out, new sails, a lot of new equipment. But the bones of the boat were solid and the engine, although it had a lot of hours, seemed to be working great, which eliminated a lot of hidden expensive surprises. What do you think?
Needs a lot of work. All the handles need changing because they don't work properly. The toilets needs probably ripping out, some of them. Yeah. So like everything, all the curtains have mold on them.
Yeah, when I came to this boat in Thailand, it was mold on the walls.
Yeah, yeah, it just needs.
You have a look at the end of the keel.
Yeah, yeah.
See, there hasn't been.
See, there's any little cracks there. Hello internet people. So today I've come back to the boat to basically check a few extra things before I send my cash over to buy the boat. I just want to come and do like a thorough inspection of everything I can within about 4 hours. We leave tonight. I just want to check the hull, give it a little bit of a knock, and have a look at the steering system to make that sure everything's okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the hull sandblasted. You can see there's like 3 different colours. There's a black, there's an orange and there's a blue. So I'm going to get that sandblasted back to gel coat. I'm going to get an epoxy barrier put on it and then going to get some new anti-foul. And then the big job is getting the top size resprayed, which, alright, I don't need, but the boat looks like shit, so I want to do it. So something that I'm pretty sure, maybe it doesn't need redoing, but it's something that I want to do while it's out of the water and I'm doing all the bottom, is the rudder has a little bit of play in it. There is a slight knock in here that I want to repair, so that's just a little bit of fiberglass and epoxy. That's not really a problem. The whole thing's getting sandblasted anyway, so that'll come up all clean. Normal standard 3-blade prop. All the front holes need replacing, so like all of these here. I don't know if they're original. They look it. They haven't changed a shitload of other stuff on the boat, so I can't imagine they've changed all the through holes, because that'd be a pain in the arse. And all the hydraulic fluid. But if the actual ram needs replacing, and that thing's coming off. I don't know how much that costs. It looks expensive. The tachometer definitely needs replacing. We turned the engine on yesterday. That doesn't work. Could be that it's not getting a signal from the alternator, because that's sometimes the case. One of these pins is missing. One of those to here, so this was leaking. Rigging's in good order. The outers are big bloody heavy things. It's just like basic stuff. Like, see all this here? Like, this just all needs stripping down and revarnishing. Like all here, this just all needs revarnishing. I might do this with polyurethane actually, because this gets stepped on. So yeah, all this kind of needs taken care of. All the nav equipment is like new Raymarine here. I don't know what this is some old thing. But yeah, like the new chart plotter is up there. And oh, it looks like he left some Ray-Bans. Are they Ray-Bans or are they Ray-Bons? They're Ray-Dons! Ray-Don! I'm gonna lie and use them. So yeah, you can see like here, it's just, you know, little, obviously little drips of water have come in over time. I think the oven might be completely buggered. That might need completely replacing. These are all the old sails, which apparently are an absolute write-off. This one's got UV damage, and the Jeanneau, which is in the locker up front, got blown out. This is a spare Jeanneau. So this here is the master forward, which is the charter version. So you've got like a strip of wood that can go down here, and then it separates itself into 2 cabins. So I think we're gonna like build some cabinetry here. So yeah, like new mirrors, you know, new faucets and sink bowls, and need to get, what's that? Oh, ocean air, bollocks. You know, this type of stuff has come down here. It's got these like shitty, like Velcro-y type of plastic connections, so this stuff all needs to go up. This needs some attention. This thing's fallen off. Some of this stuff needs like taking care of. Like this type of thing here. I think you can fix that type of stuff. It's not real leather, it's like fake leather. A bunch of these little toggle things need replacing. So that's the Jenny down there. Looks like the front's been taken off, probably when they were servicing it. Down here, I think it's the seawater strainer actually. Yeah, so that's the seawater strainer for the generator. I think that is the diesel filter as well for the generator. Engine, oh yeah, there's the engine. Looks like it needs a new seal. That's where the impeller goes. That's the water pump, so it looks like it needs a new seal. Turns over fine. We got it started like straight away first time. It worked great. That alternator could do with tightening up a bit, because those are a bit loose. That's that shitty stuff there. That's breaking. That all needs replacing. This looks like a bunch of electronics. 24-volt system. Pretty sure that is for the electric bunches up above. Oh, there's so much electronics on this boat. So the water heater is bust here. This says that's the water heater. So yeah, you've got like a little hatch that you open up here. Those are the water pumps for the sinks and the showers, that type of stuff. This is the cool thing about getting a boat off an owner who hasn't bought another boat or just left the boat. It's like spares everywhere, stainless steel screws. That's the new Raymarine actuator. And then down here, yeah, I think I'm going to use polyurethane on here, because this looks like varnish just ain't doing the job. So they've got, I think, 4 AGMs in here. Here's the AGMs, but as you can tell, that's buggered. You can see that it started to bulge. This is why the boat was cheap. So this is why it was a pretty decent deal. So it was $130. Which is, I think, fair considering what needs doing to it. So I reckon a month of just sanding and revarnishing, which is probably gonna be shit. But whatever, that's life. I'm saving a bit of cash. As I go, I'll figure out how much money I need to spend, probably. There's no way I can look around in like 3 hours and figure it out. I need to spend a month on the boat, on the hard, going through absolutely everything, playing with absolutely everything to figure out exactly what is going to need doing. So it's basically away home and just starts planning really for like coming back in January and just getting all this work done. And yeah, maybe when I come back in January it'll look a bit cleaner. That's it, let's start planning. Cool, so we got the anchor down. My battery literally just died as I was doing it. But it's pretty disastrous, I'll show you. So it's down there. Doesn't look that bad down there. But trust me, it's bad. This is the residue that was left. That is what came off it. And if you look down there, that is all the rust. So I don't think that the locker was draining because of the amount of rust that was in there and had come off over a period of time. Doesn't matter, because I've got a new one coming tomorrow. I'm going to Athens to pick up a Rockner anchor, and then their chain which they make, I think it's called Titan chain. So I'm going to the port to pick that up from the distributor, importer, whatever, one of those things. So yeah, I need to suck up all this shit because I've got to get this locker looking decent. Right, I've got all that out from down there. I'm going to have to get down and clean it because there's still a load of rust down there. Check this out. This is how much has come off this anchor. I don't know how long it's been there, but... that. What the hell? It's quite a bit of rust. Could probably make a new anchor chain out of all that. Right, cleaning time. Cool, so we've come to get the anchor. We've got it loaded in. So that's the 40 kg Rockner. And then down there we've got 400 kilos of chain. So that's 4 kilos a metre. Just got enough. I don't think this is what Renault made this car for, but we've just got enough space. Hopefully I'll get there. Yeah, there ain't that much room under the wheel arches for this. I need to be pretty careful driving back. I've now got a 2.5 hour drive, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't break the suspension on this rental car. I don't have the excess insurance policy, so that might kill me. Right, so I picked up the new anchor and chain yesterday, so that's in the car. That's ready to go. But first, get this thing properly cleared. Then also, okay, you can see there's a hole there. When they've installed this new windlass, the bolts to actually drop the motor from the gypsy part here at the top have been accessible, so they've cut a hole in the back so they can access the rear bolts. Problem with that is water gets in through that hole. So water basically pools under there, which isn't a massive problem. A bit of it drips into the skipper's cabin, which obviously is an issue after time, but I want to try and keep that area where the windlass is just completely free of water. The housing for the motor is made of aluminium and they're notorious for rusting like quite easily, so I just want to keep that as like moist proof as possible, which it would be if it wasn't for that hole. So I'm just going to test it because there is a bit of water intrusion in here. I just want to make sure it is the hole and it's not the seal there, although I'm tempted to just take this off and reseal it anyway. I need to do these gel coat repairs here because they've put like Sikaflex in through the old holes, which is pretty shit. I mean, it looks terrible, so I need to get that fixed up with some gel coat filler. So it's looking a bit cleaner down there. This panel was there on the bottom. It's like a solid plastic panel, presumably just to lift the anchor chain up a little bit, but there's that much rust gathered around the sides that water was just pooling above it anyway. So I managed to get this out. I think I'm just going to hose all this because there's so much rust down there. I can clean this and drop that back in. Dirty, horrible job. So this is the rust that was just at the bottom of the anchor locker. That's not including all the shit that actually came off the chain that went down there as well, and the stuff that's still left on. This is pretty heavy. I'm going to empty this out into a bucket so I can take it down. Pretty heavy. That's the best it's going to look without doing something bizarre to the sides. You can see the open, it's like a little glass thing at the back. Well, it's plastic actually. I think that'll pop out. There's some silicone on it, and then there's a hole behind that. It's tough to access, but I need to get that off to reseal it and then fill the gel coat in that's underneath as well. So let's give it a shot. So I've managed to get this thing off with a lot of struggle, a lot of WD-40, a lot of messing around. I had to take off the, all this stuff that holds the gypsy in place and all these bits, and I finally now got a wiggle on it. You can see where the water's coming in. There's just not enough room here, so I need to put a really thick bead of silicone around there. But before I do that, I want to fill these holes because these look like shit, and they're also absorbing water, so they're letting in holes and they look crap. So I'll get all that cleaned up, all this. Right, so I've got this windlass off after 4 hours of trying to take the thing off. This project took slightly longer than expected. Next project, cleaning, sanding, more sanding, and gel coat filler time. Don't know, it looks like it might rain though, so maybe I'll leave the gel coat filler for... No, because I'll need to sand it off, so yeah, I'll have to put the gel coat filler on tonight. So yeah, let's crack on with it. Right, so just checking out the gel coat that I put down yesterday. That's all toughened now and dried. That looks good. Cool, so I've just sanded it down and it looks okay, but I've got the little pinholes in there and a few minor little crack marks, so I think I'm going to do another run just to get this looking a bit better. Cool, so I'm getting all the chain out the car. I need to take some trash out. I thought I'd show you what I'm doing. This is nearly £1,000 of chain. I think it is £1,000 of chain. New. So this is Titan 12mm. I don't know what that is in inches. And this is the old one. So literally, you just see the dust oozing off of it. That's as well as like the bucket full of dust that's upstairs. And nice and new. I've got a little bit more to take out. So I think that's about £500, and I've got the rest there. So get the rest out. Right, here it is, old and new. Old? Look at this piece of shit. There's a new one. So that's a Rockner 40kg, £88. Canada metal, good old Canadians. And this is 100 metres of chain. Lifetime manufacturer's warranty against defects. That's how you know it's the good shit. Nice. So I've got this little triangle shaped sander. That has got 80 grit on it. Then I'm just going over it with some 280. And that actually seems to be giving it like a pretty decent finish. So I'm just going to carry on with that and then see how it goes. Cool, so I've got a bit of this done in the galley. It's looking really nice. So I haven't cleaned it. I'm just sanded it down with the 280. It's got a nice smooth finish, but it's looking quite good. I think like 5 layers of varnish should be sufficient for it. It looks pretty nice. Heavy into the sanding today. I'm getting all this off. This has now had an 80, it's had a 120, and I've finished it with a 220 here and a 280 there. So I've got this to do. These are done on this side. So yeah, dusty as hell, quite nice. Doing this as well, gonna get this sanded down. This is looking a bit shit. It's all, you know, coming up here and peeling off. It's coming up. Quite nice. This side is lighter than this side. I don't know, maybe that gets more wear. Cool, right, but oh my god, oh, I can't breathe in here, it rigs. Started to take this one off here. So I've just done the 80 grit on here, then I'm going to whip it up with the 120 and then a 280. Just started working on this side. This is going to be white. This is going to be white. These are going to be stained with 2-part polyurethane. And then I've got some of the grip stuff that like you sprinkle inside the polyurethane when it's set in, and it makes it grippy. They're like these like these little crystal balls. I use them on my old boat and they're really well, and if you use it with the 2-part polyurethane it holds up pretty good. So yeah, just going to run over it with some thinners, masking tape up the areas that I need to masking tape, and then get cracking with some varnishing. Excited, it's going to look nice. So I've got the first layer on, which is sweet. Looks really nice. So I'm really happy with that. So this is a coat of amber clear varnish. So it's just got like a bit of a orange tint to it, which is nice. The colour of pretty much the whole interior actually originally looks like this. And then gradually over time, because of all the sun and the UV damage, it's ended up looking something more like that. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking these off because I need to get all these sanded down. Cool, so I made some progress on the sanding of the top part of the companionway steps. It's looking pretty nice. So this here is 60 to get this stuff off, because this is a nightmare. It's like these sticky treads that you put on, or like these sticky grip parts. So this is 80 with that one, then it's 120, then it's 220, and then it's just finished off by hand with a 280, which is like this one, and it's now got a nice finish to it. Cool, so I've got my steps inside, got them cleaned, looking good. I've just got some thinners on them just to give them a thorough clean. And I'm going to get the first coat of polyurethane on them. So it's this stuff, Epiphane's 2-part, 2-part component yacht varnish. So this is clear. This is 100% clear. And then what I'm going to try and go for is 2 coats of this, then 2 coats of satin. But I'm going to see what the finish looks like. If I can get like a glass finish with 2 coats of clear, I hope I can. Then I'm going to go for 2 coats of satin. Right, let's go and put some of this polyurethane on these steps and see how it goes. So I did 50ml of 50ml, it's a 2-to-1, so it was 50ml of the resin, polyurethane, I don't know exactly what you call it, and then 25ml of the hardener. I know the other one's called the hardener. So yeah, let's give this a shot. Cool, so I've got my first coat on. Nice rubber gloves. It's looking pretty good. It's soaked into the wood quite nicely, and it's left a wonderful shine. Yeah, going to go on to doing a little bit of varnishing in the saloon now. I'm going to go and do the saloon table. Cool. First coat on there. Second coat on there. Second coat's looking nice, but I think it'll probably need one more clear before I can go onto the satin. So there's going to be 5 coats in total. I've got these finished, so I need to clean these off. It's not 100% cured, probably because it's not too hot in here. But this is the satin finish on these, which is nice. This has been sanded down to wood, so what I'm going to do tonight is get a coat of this stuff on. Can't read that, that's backwards. Or I'm looking at it, it's backwards on this little screen anyway. Maybe you don't see it as backwards. I'll flip it round either way so you can read it. So this is the primer. This is, I think this is an Italian brand, is it? No, this is a Greek brand. This is the one that came recommended from the yard, and all of the workers apparently in this yard use this. So I've also got the same brand for the top coat, which is, I think, gloss finish. Yeah, I think it's a gloss finish that I'm going for. So I'm going to do the backs of these, and then I'm also going to be doing this, and then around here, so this will all be a little bit white, which will make it be a little bit more modern. And the back of the treads, which is like here, when this gets worn away, which it will do, I won't have to revarnish it constantly. Like, blending in varnish is much more difficult than blending in paint, because you can just stick some paint on it, then just get one of those like super fine wet dry pads and kind of even it out, and it usually works out okay, even with gloss. Well, for gloss you have to go over it with like one of those fabric type of pads after, but it's pretty easy. I've done it a bunch of times before, so that's okay. So yeah, tonight I'm going to get a coat on here of primer, I'm going to get a coat on there, might get me high, hopefully. I'm insanely bored, so that won't be too bad. Right, so next little project for today is measuring up for carpet. I've got some of this brown paper here, so I've just rolled the first piece of paper down, and I've got to make all this. So I'm getting carpet in the saloon. I'm going to be getting carpet through here into these bedrooms, into cabins, not bedrooms. Boat talk, you know how it is, guys. In here, down on the floor through there, and also in that bathroom. I'm not getting it in the other 3 bathrooms that are on the boat, because they are going to be functioning as wet rooms, because they've got the showers that are also situated in the bathroom, so I don't want people to have to like take up carpet every time they'll have a shower. That would be pretty annoying. All these were finished, so this is all the carpet for the boat, which is really nice. This has turned out really well. I'm not sure what this is going to cost yet. I gave him €400 as a deposit, so I might need to pay about another 400. But then that's carpet for the whole boat, which is wicked. It's not marine carpet, I'm not bothered about that. Hopefully it won't get wet. If it does, I'll just dry it. So I think it looks alright. I've got the main one down. This is probably the most complicated one. Kind of alright. So that one's in there. These are here. That's just going to need a little bit lobbing off there. That's fine. That's fine. The one, I've got one which is going in. That bathroom there. That looks cool. So yeah, I'll just get the others down. But yeah, I'm much happier with this. It feels so nice under the foot rather than like the wood. Cool, so we're going to install some LED strip lights around the boat. We're going to start off by putting them in the handholds that are up here. They're these basic little strip lights that you get from pretty much anywhere, really. Red RBG, red, blue, green, and then they make white. This is a 5 meter piece. Then you get a little control unit. And they also come with one of these, so you can pick like a variety of different colours. And this one actually connects to your phone as well. I think you can actually sync it up with music, so it dances around with the music, but politicians have themselves to blame. It's a bit too lively for me. So I'm hooking these up directly to the lights that are already there. Don't try and connect them straight up to a battery or something like that, or a ginormous pump, because these things will fry immediately. So I'm going to start off by removing all these panels all the way across, and then we're going to put the LED lights in there. And we've also got some little switches here, which I got from Amazon. I think these are like a few dollars each, and this is set to 2 amps. Let's give it a shot. Cool, so I'm just checking between here and the negative there. Cool. So I can hook this straight into there. Cool, so I've got the little switch in here. There is my connection to the controller, so I'm just going to run this over here and then back up to there, and then that is how I'm going to get my power in here. Cool, so that's them in. That actually looks like a Star Trek ship. I love it. So I'm in the skipper's cabin. I'm working on getting these cables pulled through. So I've done the first one, got a bit of string here that I'm going to use to pull my new wire through, which is a little bit thinner than this wire. This wire is actually really thick. It's a bit of a pain in the arse to actually pull through the pull bar, the pulpit, sorry, not the pull bar, you know what I'm talking about. So just attaching them onto here, like that. I'm just doing a couple of wraps around there, taping it up so it's smooth, and then I'm pulling them through. And then just got to hope that this thing doesn't snap. I think I might pull 2 of these strings through just in case. I think that's probably a smart thing to do, so at least if I lose one, I've got another one there. It's like a safety backup. I might do that. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Right, so I've got these through, which is sweet. That was actually easier than I thought. So I'm now going to attach the string to the end of one of these. So here, and this is the precious part. If it's going to fail, it's going to be when I'm pulling this through. So these need to be super strong. Right, got it about halfway. So I'm going to push and pull at the same time. It should help get it around the corners. There we go. Get that? Nice. Very nice. Right, next side. Cool, so it just started raining, but I want to get this done. I want to get it finished because I've had a few days of like not being satisfied with my work productivity, so I'm not going to let the rain stop. So this is the unit. It's a Hella Marine, what's it called? I don't know, but it's made in Australia. And you get some little toys inside. So yeah, that's what the unit looks like. So it is watertight. It's got that there. It's got a gap at the bottom, so if any water does come in, it'll drain out. But yeah, I'd rather get all of these little holes seeked up. Cool, gonna get this one on, but I need to take the old one off first. Cool, so I've now got it hooked in down here, and I'm just gonna go and test these out. I've got them connected up to here. I don't know if these are the right way around, but I'll find out. This really isn't interesting at all. Let me just go and turn the lights on and see if this works. It's still raining, but I got it done. Look at that. Nice. Right, let's go and test it out. That's anchor. I think it's that one. Back one's on. And check if the front ones are on. We have light. We have light. Nice. Right, so we're about to get this thing out. I had to slice the pipes for the heat exchanger that go in, which are these two. A bit of coolant came out, but not that much. The coolant pipes for the heat exchanger inside here are like right at the top of the engine, so I think it's only getting turned over when the pressure picks up when the coolant gets hot. Okay, that got challenging. Everything got in the way. And I lost the little widescreen thing on here. Oh no, I didn't, it's there. That's fine. Cool, right, so that's out. Let's get that on. Here it is, rusty old piece of shit. It's falling to bits, this thing. Just completely filled with rust on the inside, horrible. So I'm going to clean in here. Then I'm going to get the new one in. I'm going to connect it up to the water. Then I'm going to figure out the heat exchanger connections. Because I've got to get some little pieces that will go inside here. And then fit onto a half-inch plumbing piece. Which is what that thing needs. Which I don't think should be too difficult. I think I should be able to manage that. Let's get it in. Let's get the new one put in place. But I'm having a cup of tea first. Cool, so this is the new one here. So this is the 20 litre quick water heater. We've got engine heat exchanger in, engine heat exchanger out. I'll be dealing with that next week. Cold water in, hot water out. So these are the two that I'm going to be focusing on today. And then that's just a little pressure release valve there. So it comes with these brackets here. that go underneath like that, and then got these things which like hold it in place. So I just want to figure out exactly how these cool. Right, so that's it in there. I'm gonna go and get my extension and then I can get this plugged in. Alright, so these are the two extension bars I've got here. Then I've got 1/2 inch, and then I've needed to upgrade those to 3/4 because these existing pipes have got 3/4 inch on them. So those two are on, and those go straight onto the water heater. Right, so because the old one was knackered, instead of this going into the old water heater, they fed it straight back into the hot. So I'm now disconnecting these. So these two are going to be disconnected, and this is the cold. It's going to be connected into one of these, and then the hot separately is going to be connected into one of these, which are going to go into cold at the bottom and hot at the top. But first we need to disconnect these and drain all the water out. I'm probably going to come gushing. So for some reason the cold is a male piece, and then the hot is a female piece, which is fine. So for the female pieces, we've got the rubber inside, but this one here is going to need a bit. So put a bunch on, then once you get to the end, just toughen it up a little bit, get a few more wraps on it. That's enough. Oh, my mistake, I need to get a bit more on there as well, because that one is going inside there, so I'll wrap this up too. Cool. That's what that looks like. Right, so I've got it all plumbed in and it's working. So yeah, just getting this plumbed in now into the little box here, and then we're good to go. Blocked on. Right, cool. So that's in. Looking good. I just want to read the instructions to see if there's a specific way you need to commission it before you turn the electricity on. I don't want to blow the bloody thing up. Bloody €500. I want to send it to hell before I've even got it making hot water. Cool, right, so that should work. Water heater. Nothing's blown up yet. Well, that's pretty anticlimactic. Whilst on a mission to sail around the world, my job is actually running a sailing festival called Odyssey. We started in the BVI last year, and this year it's going to be taking place in Greece on the 14th of September. The Odyssey Sailing Festival is a week-long experience on the water, learning how to sail, live on a boat, and hanging out with some of the coolest people who you will all know as your cruising guides and mentors. We head out of the marina as a fleet of boats with the intention of giving everyone the best week of sailing in their lives. The boats are all brand new monohulls and catamarans. It's an all-inclusive week with a private chef, and we only have 3 cabins left for the event. Our skippers this year are some of the most impressive people in the world of sailing. Brady and Blue from Delos, world record holder Dustin Reynolds, below deck yacht captain Glenn Shephard, Erica and Warren from We Sail, Erik the Viking, Dan and Kika from Sailing Uma, Trip and Kira from Apparent Winds, Lauren Landers, and the world's youngest circumnavigator, Laura Dekker. If you're interested in joining for the week, check out theoceancruisers.com/Odyssey for more information on this incredible week of sailing. Right, so this is the shower that I'm going to install in the front cabin. Might look a little bit elaborate, but I want to try and be as homely as possible for my wife, and take the shower out of the sink and then do it over your head thing, she's not that big of a fan of. In the last boat we had, which was a Moody 34, we had like a full stand-up shower in there, so I want to make sure that we've got something similar on this. It's got like some different modes. Rain mode, like fall off the porch that you have to walk under in the winter mode, Place is a mess, ignore. So basically when you walk in, you've got this one, which we're always going to keep open because it's got better clearance for the steps, so you can just walk straight in. We're going to keep this one shut, which means that this is going to be the permanent toilet because we'll use that more often. Also, check that out. So I got the place stinks of WD-40. The mirrors are stuck, so I've like rinsed them in WD-40 to try and get them undone. So that's the new one. I've got like a nice what do you call it? Faucet. Yeah, I think we just call it a tap in England. As opposed to shitty old school style, which is a prison-esque looking stainless steel tub. I've got some tiles which are going to go on the back here. New mirrors. Going to put some wood stuff down. I'm going to put a teak floor down in here. So yeah, this is going to be the bathroom. I've got a Jabsco electric head coming for there, so we don't have to do a workout every time we need to go to the bathroom. Also, I need to sand all this down. Like, see this? So all this shit is because I should actually close this, but no, actually it doesn't matter. So this is through the sun just beating in through these. So these all need sanding and redoing. Alright, so I'm just getting this into place, and then I'm going to mark where the bottom of it is so I can drill my holes. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to run some extensions from the sink, which are under there, just over to here. I'm going to drill a hole through there, then I'm just going to have a piece of conduit that comes out here and goes into the side of that. So I'll get some adapters for here. Actually, it's on the plastic stuff. Yeah, so I can just get a T. So I can just tee them in through there. Easy, nice. This is getting connected to the existing water supply. This is going to the new tap that I've got put in, and then these are running round to the shower. So that is how I'm getting those connected, and yeah, I'll give this a shot now and see if I can do it. I think I need to mess around with this conduit first actually to get that correct and drill the holes. Cool, so I'm just using my little USB Dremel Black & Decker thing here just to curve the shape. Just trial and error, just putting it in and seeing how it fits, then moving it back round. So I just need to take a little bit off the front here now. This is so handy, this is so good. These are going to run through that conduit into here, and these are going to go into a couple of T-valves which are up there, and then that'll separate the tap from the shower. Then we get supply to them both. There it is. That's quite cool. Yeah, sweet. So you walk in there, it's right there. So yeah, sit down on there, shower there. Sweet, happy with it. Hola amigos. Right, so we're in the bathrooms, or the heads I should say, pardon me. You've seen I've put the shower through there. I'm putting like some new sink basins in, some new faucets, lighting. I'm putting a bit of wood in some places. I'm just trying to spruce them up. Tip for you gents, if you want your wife to have a good time on a boat, make it pretty, amongst other things, but make it pretty. Cool, so what I've got on the backsplashes, which is just below the mirrors, I'm going to use some of this awesome stuff which I found on eBay. So they're called Be Nice, and they're actually available all over the world. I checked, they're about $17 a pack, and it's like a square metre in a pack, so super cheap. And they look like this. So they're like little individual marble effect tiles with like the old brushed stainless. I don't know why that's in there, but it's kind of nice. And it's just like a 3M back, which you peel off, and then you can just cut them with scissors, and then just stick them anywhere that like you want. And they do genuinely look like little marble tiles. I'm really impressed. So I'm going to be putting them up here, like that. So they're going to go here, just behind the wash basin. You just got to chop the ends off there and work them in. But yeah, they look super nice. I'm really impressed with them. So I'm going to give this a shot. I've never cut plastic mosaic tiles before. Who has? So yeah, we'll give it a crack and see how it turns out. pretty. Let's get rid of all this stuff. It'll look really good. Hard day's tiling. Mirrors were $170, which is insanely cheap. So I'm going to get these installed as well. And then, yeah, hopefully, I'm hoping by tomorrow I can probably finish the bathrooms. So I've got the sink in place now. I think it looks pretty nice. Improvement off the prism bowl. I used this stuff, Sikaflex 111 stick and seal. The guys in the shop recommended it. They said it's super strong adhesive, but it's also flexible, which is good for on a boat in case there's any movement. I managed to get a nice seam in there. I used a bit of masking tape and my pinky, and that worked really well. So I've got that in place. Now I'm going to start tackling the plumbing underneath here. That is the exit pipe for the sink. And then I've got my connections under here, which I'm now going to plumb the new faucet into. I've also got, like, in the Middle East you call them bum guns. I suppose it's like an alternative to a bidet where you don't have to sit down in a separate bowl to wash your arse. But yeah, it's like a squirts type of, probably the wrong word to use actually. But anyway, yeah, it's just like a little shooter thing for washing your arse. It's similar to what you'd actually have on the back of your transom for having a shower, which is just a shower for your arsehole. So these are all the connections here. It's all these things, stainless steel bits. These are like double what they were a year ago. Inflation. Then yeah, I've got like a nice faucet here that's going to go on there. So yeah, once I've done that, this is done. The seal around there was looking a bit weak, so I've topped that up with some flexible Kika. And yeah, I literally just think it's plumbing. And then I'm picking up the electric toilet in a couple of weeks, so I'll get that fitted. So yeah, let's try and get this done today so I can just clear some stuff out of the forward cabin and just start sleeping in something that doesn't look like this. I'm from Wigan. I've slept in worse places, trust me. Alright, I've got everything connected up in here. It's a moment of truth. Time to turn the water on. Turn the pump on. Let's see what leaks. Right. Not a single leak. First time. Yeah, that's a sign of things to come. Let's take that as a positive one. Brilliant. So, here it is. Here's the electric toilet. So this is a Jabsco 370104092. Sure, you all know what that means. So yeah, it's not a quiet flush. I had a quiet flush on our previous boat. The quiet flush, the macerator turns on like this little rubber belt that just breaks. It just breaks constantly. So like, and we didn't actually use it that often. We probably were on that boat for about 4 months a year, and I had to replace it like twice a year. So the Jabsco light flush toilets are garbage. So yeah, this has just got like a normal style macerator. It's got the pump there, which is on the back, so that's quite cool. 12 volt, water in, water out. And then we've got like one of those soft close lids, which is here. So I'm just going to get this in position. I'm going to see where it goes. I want to lift the lid up to make sure I can bring it forward enough so the lid lifts all the way up. And then yeah, I'm going to drill some holes, get it down there. Yo, so continuation of installing the electric toilet. I've got that in place now. I've got the little switch and the solenoid on there. That's nice. The inlet pipe is going to be absolutely fine. The discharge pipe, I've had to go and buy some new stuff. So this is like 25mm internal diameter. What does that say? Impermeable and odorless sanitary hose. This was insanely expensive. This 3 meter piece of hose was $80, so I don't know if people are used to that type of money on a hose, but yeah, the inlet one, which is just like plastic with wire through, that's, I think it's like a quarter of the price. So yeah, when I got the bill, I was like, what is this? What is going on here? But it's 100 psi. So if you've had a rough night, if you've had a curry, and you're about to start pounding it out, this has got you covered. So this is turning out to be, I mean, between like the price of the toilet and the hose, yeah, taking a shit is a pretty expensive venture on a new boat, apparently. But yeah, let's get it installed. So this is 3 meters, so this is going to go all the way up here. The inlet isn't vented, as I thought it was. Maybe that's just because of the height of it and where the toilet's situated. But yeah, I can pretty much finish this installation now. So finally finished this bathroom, and I'm now moving on to this one, and this is what it looks like. This is it now. New mirror, faucet in, sink in, got all the wooden wrap on, bum gun or cheap bidet, got the wrap on there. I replaced this up here because the old one was knackered. It's like an ocean spray blind, so that's cool. Really nice. New stern gland time. I've got a new one here. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is called, it's actually called a Volvo dripless seal, although this isn't made by Volvo, it's made by Orbit Trade, I think it said. It's basically one of these fat things. So it looks like this. It's got like this double body inside it. That goes over the stern tube. This is to replace like a leaky one. For example, like the ones that you have, like the old school ones where you pump oil into them. Or you can get like some fancy ones now. I think they're called like PSS or PPS seals. I don't know, something like that, where you've got like a carbon plate that spins around. This one works via these lips. So if you see these lips inside, these are like super tight lips. And what you're meant to do is put in between those two lips there, you're meant to put lubrication just to help cool it down. Most people don't bother with it actually. So the old one is already off. I'll show you what we're dealing with. Also, just to note, if you're ever going to do this, make sure that you put this that way. It doesn't damage the lips, because those lips are quite delicate. You don't want to damage those. So right, I'll show you where it's going. I'll show you the old one. Oh, this is the clamp. It's got like this huge bugger clamp that goes on. So this area here is what Chris masterfully and talentfully fixed for me before. So we put the new through hull on there, and then we've got the new tube on there, and it was Chris that did that fiberglass modification. So the old one had come off. It's still there. I just slid it up just to take a look, but that's there. There's no sign of this one being damaged, but I don't know how old it is. Volvo recommends that you change them, I think every 5 years actually. So I need to take off the prop shaft from down there. So I've already taken one bolt off. I need to remove the prop shaft from the cup link. The cup link is this black thing here. That black thing is the cup link. So I need to take that off there. Once I've taken that off, I then slide this back a bit, put the new stern gland on, stick that over here, tighten it, reattach the prop to the cup link, then reattach the cup link to the transmission. It was pretty difficult to access the cup link, so I've removed all this. So the cupboard comes out, the partition comes out, and basically you've got full access to the back of the engine, which is actually really cool. That's great. That's such good access. So yeah, here's the cup link. It's stuck on the prop. So basically I've just got a bunch of WD-40 and I'm letting it sit inside there to hopefully trickle through and ease through any you know, like seized areas, rust areas. And yeah, we'll just leave it for a while, leave it for a day, maybe put some heat on it, and then we'll whack it off. Right, prop shaft. I've got it back in. I've got it in place. It's here. I had a second issue here. So when we were pulling the cup link off, it damaged the top of the thread on the propeller shaft when it came to removing the nut, and basically I had to thread a new nut onto the propeller shaft because it was a bit damaged at the top, and that took a lot of energy and wasted a lot of my body fluid. That sounded weird and disgusting. My apologies. I just sweat a lot, basically. I should have gone with that from the beginning. That would have been much easier to explain. Anyway, so it's back in place now. New Volvo stern gland there. Cup link is back in nice and tight. So I'm now just going to connect this back up to the transmission. I'm going to clean all this area because I don't like having a dirty boat. I'm going to get this back in place. Going to get this connected. Cool, this area is looking like really nice now, looking clean. I got under the engine, cleaned all that. There was loads of salt residue and oil and all sorts that's under there, so that's all sorted. Bolts are in nice and tight. So yeah, just going to package this back up now, get this all back in and in shape. Cool, so I've just taken apart the little electrical box that's down there. I just think that's too low down. Like, if you look at where it is, I mean, it's a pretty bilgy boat. I mean, you are talking like hundreds and hundreds of litres to get to that point before it reaches that level. But you want that as high as possible. Like, I don't know why that isn't like here. Like, surely that's just better. You know, the higher it is, the safer it is. And you can actually see, if you take a look inside, you can see how some water has got in there at some point. That may seem high, you know, even if it's going to take like 400 litres of water in there for it to get water in. If you're offshore and you're going downwind, your boat is, you know, slopping all over the place. If you're in that type of condition when you have a problem, that could get wet. As soon as that gets wet, your bilges might just shut off. So I don't like that. I'm going to raise that. I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to attach it onto here. I think it's going to be a lot better and safer at this type of level. The cables will all reach because the cables all come from this point. So yeah, that's something I'm going to do just for safety. I think that's a much better option. So yeah, this is all the old shit. This is like the old float switch. Cool, so I've got all the old stuff out, got all the wires out of there. This is all the old stuff, all here. Wait for the bilge pumps to arrive, then I can connect all the new stuff. I'm just going to generally clean up this area as well, because there's probably more pipes than is actually necessary or needed, but it was just generally messy. You couldn't even get your hands down there to like access the bilge. It was a nightmare. So yeah, I'm going to get all this cleaned up now. Yeah, so I've got my bilge pumps, so I'm now getting the area ready to install them. These things are like plumbed up slightly differently. So I've got this bilge area down here, which for some bizarre reason water gathers here instead of going down there to the main bilge area. It's pretty stupid design. Everybody who owns one of these boats complains about this. So I've got this bilge pump here, which is a 1200 gallon per hour, presuming? Yeah, 1200 gallon per hour. So this is a Rule automatic. What's bizarre about this is that this is a 1200 gallon and it's this big. The 1500 that I took out was literally like 3 times the size of this, which is really weird. And it's fit for the same hose, so maybe the pumps are just like way better than they were 20 years ago or something. I don't know, but that was pretty strange. So what I've done, I've supplemented that one being a little bit smaller with this extra one here, which is a 650 gallon per hour automatic again, because I don't like float switches, and this will sit in there. So rather than loads of water resting in there and then only that stuff getting sucked up, now it's going to get sucked up from here as well. They come pre-installed with the Joker valves. That one's on there and that one is inside there. So I'm just going to change this little junction box. I'm going to move this over to here so they can both reach from there and then from there, and then we should be good to go. So I've relocated the junction box to here. That was actually right down there before. I'm going to tuck this one in here like that, so I've still got lots of clearance down there. These wires will be able to reach, the wires from down there will be able to reach inside, so that should be all good. Cool, so I've got everything plumbed in here. I just cut that down to size and I heated this up so it gave it a nice bend, burned it a little bit there, who cares. So yeah, feeling much better about this. So we're going to get the, actually I'm going to have a tea and a biscuit, that's more important than boat work. So after I've had a tea and a biscuit, we're going to drop the rudder.
Are we?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. We'll go and try and find something for the rudder to drop on so it doesn't actually drop. And then we're going to metaphorically drop the rudder. Chris has come up with this ingenious invention, which is going to work.
Oh, the confidence!
I'll show you. So, this is a Sail Hub special. Or a Sail Hub backup. We're going to find out. It's going to be one of the two.
One of the two?
Yeah, so we've got the hole here, which is for the emergency tiller. We've now got a piece of rope coming through here. It's going to go around this block and it's attached onto the winch. This rope here is attached with a pin that Chris bent with firepower, and put it through the bolt which goes through the top of the rudder post.
This is just because Andy hasn't got the required parts, mate.
Yeah, this is just because Andy hasn't got the required parts. Now, just in case, I've put a massive piece of polystyrene foam underneath the rudder. Not that I don't have the utmost confidence in Chris's abilities, but I just think that is a pretty good safety mechanism. So we've got a ginormous polystyrene board underneath the rudder in case it plummets to the ground. Hoping it won't. Yeah, let's see if this works. If not, it'll just drop.
Okay, fella.
What's Chris doing in this hole? The Geordie man in his hole.
So Andy's just winched the whole rudder post up.
Before we continue, I want to explain what this is. This is a Geordie, its name is Chris. Chris is a master boat builder and at the moment he's starting a major boat build of a 40-foot aluminium performance cruiser which he found in a bush in Switzerland. He has years of experience as he used to run his own boat yard, so if you want to learn how to do things properly, check out his YouTube channel called Sail Hub. I'll put a link in the description.
Spin through it, so just tap the cross pin up. Now that I know he's got the weight. And hopefully I can just pull this collar off, like so.
Oh, easy.
Which means that if Andy can lower it slowly, we'll get, hopefully lower it 4 inches and get the thing off.
Andy can lower it slowly. Hold that. Just go downstairs and check it. That's it, mate. There she goes. With my help, Chris managed to drop the rudder. He did a great job of assisting me, didn't you, Chris?
Wait, you're a cheeky bugger.
So let's get some light on your face.
I couldn't have done it without you.
You'd light this man up. There we go.
Oh yeah. I couldn't have done it without Andy and his fantastic skills.
Providing commentary. That's basically all it was.
No, it's good.
Actually, one of these bolts is sheared here, mate. One of the bolts holding it. That one there, sheared on that side.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a head in here.
Yeah.
There's obviously a little bit of rust here and there in this stuff, but
Might drill that out, eh?
I think you'd be able to tap it out.
Think. Right, let's get that fucking screwdriver. Alright, I was about to explain what we just did, but now we're just going to do something else, and then I'll explain 2 things that we just did. Right, we just did another job. So one of those bolts was sheared that was holding, Chris, what do you call this big metal frame here? The metal frame supporter.
Yeah, top bearing housing, something like that. I don't know.
Top bearing housing, that sounds much better. So the top bearing housing here, which holds the rudder post in place as it goes up to the emergency tiller pole. One of those bolts was screwed off. So anyway, looking down here, I don't know if you can see in this, it's a bit cavernous and dark. But yeah, that's where the rudder comes through. That's the steering quadrant there. There's the bit that goes on the other side with some bolt. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, eh? Right, so here's the rudder, looking all nice outside the boat. What we're going to do is take all this anti-foul off completely. There's a couple of spots where we're going to need to do some fiberglass work, so we're going to need to sand all this out. There's a couple of D-lam spots there. There's a little crack at the top. We've also got these little fractures here, which are pretty normal, to be honest, because this is where the most point of stress is. There's the old bearing. There's the housing, that black thing, need to yank that out. So we're going to take all of this off, take it back to gel coat, get all the delaminated spots out, and then we're going to completely recoat it. We're going to put 3 coats of the osmosis barrier on, then we're going to prime it, and then we're going to basically just completely recover this thing. So there's going to be no little dimples or little bangs or little spots. We're going to get no intrusion from up here. So yeah, we're just going to make this thing look like new. Like, the thing's dry now because it's been out of the water for like 3 years, so it may as well be done. Chris was saying that like the rudder is the place on the boat that suffers the most from like delamination and osmosis. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So I'm going to crack on with it now. This goes here, and you've got that piece that goes over the top of that. Chris is well impressed with my Dremel. He's about to, what do you think about it?
Wow, I feel like the ultimate dentist.
So he wants to see if these cracks are just gel coat. Yeah, that's going through.
But I'm kind of thinking, because this boat's been out of the water for that long, it might make sense just to strip this back, relaminate that little patch.
Make it stronger.
We'll just try and make it watertight for as long as we can. That's great, that is.
Yeah, but we'll just fucking whack that off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take the whole top off.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Have I sanded it?
Yeah, down here, mate.
Alrighty, so today's a different day. Andy's gone away. He's decided it's too hard, sanding too much, it's too painstakingly boring, and he's just not used to having to work with his hands and actually think. So anyway, we're on to the rudder here. This is the beauty thing here. Andy got it out the other day, sanded it back. And if you look close, this is down to where we've got, there's a staple, like a mild steel staples put in. This at the front where's Yacht? There we go. I'm going to fill that with some epoxy and some glass balls, so I'll make a little dam out of basically the backside of some sellotape, and we'll fill that, get a nice finish, and then after that we'll continue to laminate on top of that. And the last thing we've got is top of the rudder as well. This area here has had quite a few bits of filling done to it in the past, and it's that filler that sometimes becomes brittle, so I'm going to laminate that up with some cloth this time and see if we can try and make it last a bit longer. The first lamination's on. This is around the rudder. We've got the a bit of chop strand to fill the holes in, and then I've used the woven mat on top of that to try and get a nice finish. The beauty of the woven is it goes around corners, so This is wrapped all the way around here, and it's also wrapped all the way around here.
Croissants aren't French, they're Austrian. The Austrians invented croissants. The French put chocolate on them, called them pain au chocolat, and now they get all the hype for being the croissant people.
Well. They stole Napoleon from Corsica. Unbelievable.
Napoleon was from Corsica. So, this isn't an anti-French video, we're just pointing out facts here, guys.
It's something we found out.
Yeah. When we sit down for the ciggy breaks, we get a bit bored. No, actually, we were eating little croissants when we got bored this time. Right, so Chris has finished his fabulous work on the rudder, got the Sail Hub approval, gave it to himself. That wasn't too hard for him to ask. And we're now going to lift the rudder back into place. Yeah, so we're going to do some stuff, and then we need to go and find some grease from somewhere. Revelation, so we're just about to go to the hardware store. We're about to take a 20-minute journey, interrupt the day, destroy the workflow. Not positive, guys. And look what Chris found. Ta-da! What is it?
Actual grease itself.
Actual grease itself, found in Greece. So we've got the tools we need. We're going to do it. Right, so there it is. Bit of a whack. Chris, will give us an explanation what just happened?
Hammer time.
Hammer time. It was hammer time. Yeah. So yeah, that's in. So that thing, the white bit, is still cold. So we're going to let that expand a bit, and then that should just shoot straight up. It should just shoot straight up. Right, I'm going to put you back down. Then you can watch the next bit. And that's it. In. So this is the stuff that's turned up. So we've got here, this is the MPPT stuff. So this is the 40 amp MPPT charger with the Bluetooth communication device that goes into it, so everything can go onto your phone. So we've got two of those. We've got one for the existing solar panels, which is 500 watt. We've got another one for the free solar panels. So I've got 3 times 175 there downstairs. I need to give one to the stainless steel guy so he can make the little brackets for the, so they fit perfectly onto the stainless steel solar arch. Then we've got a DC to DC 50 amp, and then we've got this thing, which is bloody heavy. So this is a 3000 watt inverter charger. This is so heavy. How heavy is it? Okay, right, so that actually wasn't heavy. I'm just apparently becoming a weak old man. JC is about to make us some spinach risotto.
Good lunch.
Spinach risotto. Poshest food we've eaten on this boat by far. Right, here she is. Inverter in the hole. MPPTs mounted in that little cupboard there. So we've got the wires running from the solar arch. So you can see those 2 wires up there. I don't know if you can. They're running through the starboard side of the boat, the front of that solar arch. They pop up in that cabin. They run down here, and then they're popping up here. So it's those black 2 there. The other wires that are in the existing solar arch are already running to that old MPPT charger. So I'm attaching the MPPTs onto, that's the big fuse for the inverter. And then we've got a couple of these things here. So we're putting the DC to DCs on there, we're putting the MPPTs, and we're putting the inverter on there as well. So that's a nice, apparently that's the right way to do it, and that's the safe way to do it. So here's the progress. I've got these 2 in, I've got the temperature sensors connected up, and I've got the 2 earth cables connected up. They are running through here, through a couple of holes, and then they're all popping out down here. So I've got my 2 earth cables there, the 2 temperature sensors are popping out there. I'm going to have one on each battery bank, a lower and a higher. And yeah, I'm now just going to connect the bus bars. I'm going to have the negative down there and the positive up there. There's a little panel for the breakers, going like that, which is sweet. So this is the ins and outs all coming here. They'll all be attached to there. That'll go there. Boom boom. What do you think, mate?
I think reds to reds, blacks to blacks, blue to bits.
Yep, that's the way it goes. So yeah, It's going to start looking good in a minute. Yeah, so they're in down there, new ones. I brought them over from there to here, just so they're a bit more centre on the boat. Did a little spaghetti junction situation there. SailBoat approved, is that right? No, maybe not. And now they are in. So we've got the 2 MPPTs connected up here. They're connected up to the old batteries at the moment. The 2 units above, those little bleeping green things, those are the Bluetooth connections. They're connected to my phone on the application. So we've got all the wiring in, all looking nice. Chris did an amazing job. The cables run up to the breakers here. SailHub was here. So the cables are running up to the breakers, which are up here. They're then running back into the MPPTs, and then they're running down into the batteries. Right, so basically this is the starter battery area here. That was actually the this was actually the house bank, but there's no starter battery in, so starting the motor and the generator was diverted to here, which I'm fine with. So I'm going to use these for starting the motor and the generator, but I'm going to be taking 2 of them away. Reason being, I don't need 400 amp hours to start the engine or the generator, and these 2 AGMs here are damaged. So you can see there they've started to like bulb up. These are basically toast. So I'm taking those 2 out, and then I'm not reusing them because the 2 there are absolutely enough to start the motor and the generator. So I'm just undoing all these cables now. I've just had to figure out what a couple of these cables are doing. Right, so I've got those 2 out, and I'm actually going to get 2 new ones. These are what do you call these, Chris?
Swollen.
Call them pucks, don't you? These batteries are pucked.
Absolutely.
With an F. Been on the roids. These batteries have been on the roids. Look at the state of those. Look at that. So we couldn't get them out. They were like moulded together. Yeah, these needed changing, and those do as well. If you look down, you can actually see how they are like bulbed at the sides. So need a couple of starter batteries, but just cheapies. Just car starter batteries will do for these. So these are coming out. Those are literally ready to explode. 94 amp, bloody heavy for 94 amp hours. Garbage things. Probably ancient, been in there for ages. So yeah, these are all coming out. Get 2 new batteries. That's not bad. $500. That's okay. Not a terrible day. Not a super expensive day. So yeah, I went and got 2 new batteries, $190 each, 105 amp hours. Heavy. Heavy things compared to the lithiums. So I'm going to switch those out, get the new wiring in, so then we can just start messing around with everything, and then basically the battery box is done. Oh, here he is! Bloody hell, look at the biceps on that boy.
Morning, internet people.
Coming in all buff on the tranny. How's it going, mate?
Lovely, mate.
These are the new starter batteries I've got. Marina. Apparently these are the best batteries. Korean rubles or ringgits, whatever they are, pounds even, can buy you. No. Probably because they can get more money for them if they put Marina rather than RV Park on the battery. So yeah, gonna get these hooked in, then we can properly mess around with the DC today and get that all finished. So as well as being a phenomenal Irish dancer, Chris is also an electrical engineer.
I'm not.
In his part-time. And he came up to me and said, Andrew, can you get me some probes? I was like, I thought you'd never ask.
Oh, Jesus. That's what happens, isn't it? You go to bed for 5 minutes.
Do you want me to lock that in, mate?
It's alright, we're going to do it.
So, Geordie boy's probing things. There you go. So what we're thinking is super simple. Is just send the lithiums to the navigation panel so they power everything on the boat. and basically just like isolate the starter batteries to the engine and the generator. So I'm thinking this is a 5-minute job, really.
Well, it will be when you know where the cable's go.
When we know what we're doing. Lithium's arrived. So these are Super B Epsilon 12 volt 150 amp hours. We've got 6 of these. So this is 900 watts of, 900 amp hours in total of energy. They're all at 99% charge. So lithiums are going in here. Underneath. So this space is made for the washing machine, but I don't need that. So I've got the inverter going underneath there. When that goes back down. And then the batteries are going in here. So there's 2 shelves, 3 are going in on each shelf. And I'm taking this out just so they can breathe a bit better. No, that was a mess. I'll glue that back on. Then I'm going to do another hole down there so they're not going to suffocate and they're not going to overheat. Yeah, I'll glue that back on. That's what I'm doing now. So I went to a little carpentry workshop place and I got a wicked deal on some plywood. Chris said it's the best plywood he's ever seen. So yeah, going to get this all chopped up down there. I've got a jigsaw. I'm going to have to glue that back on. What a plonker. 2 coats of varnish just to waterproof it slightly. It's not like there's water getting in there, but it could get a bit damp, I suppose, because it's pretty open to the bilge a little bit. But I've got loads of equipment down there, so if this is going to break, that's going to break. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Cool, so that hole's done.
Meanwhile, back at the back cave. It's just like I've just come into like pure darkness.
Pitch black. Our new Swedish friends actually just turned up wanting a drink and I had to turn them down so they don't have any electricity.
No
right,
way.
let me turn that off, see if you can see my face.
It looks like we're caving here.
Oh, you can't see anything. Right,
It looks better
I've
like
got
that.
all the lithium stuff ready to go. I've got the first battery plugged in. Oh, mate, show them the system. Look at all those cables. Don't look at the bottom cables, just look at the top cables.
It's like a boy racer's dream.
Yeah, so I'm now about to turn the lithium batteries on, so this boat is officially going to be powered by lithium in 1 second.
Yeah. If this goes boom, I'll laugh. Ooh, the Starship Enterprise. Look at that, look.
Right.
Got water pumps going. Got ambient lighting. Oh, look at this. Even the guitar matches on Voyager, eh?
That's it.
Oh wait, man, we've got kebab up here. Let's stop faffing with this.
Yeah, right, let's eat kebab.
Never mind that lithium rubbish, I'm hungry.
I'm bloody starving. Anyway, that's it. Lithium power online. Yo. So, what I'm doing now, so this is my battery system at the moment. So basically, I've got my inverter here. The inverter needs a battery to work, or it needs 12 volts coming in from somewhere. So I've connected my old solar panels because they were already wired up there. So you can see now, right, the batteries are actually full, so that's why it's not bringing in any charge. But when I can actually disconnect the battery and just run the boat directly off the solar panels because they go into the bus bars rather than going into the batteries. So that confused me for a little while. I disconnected the battery and all the 12 volts are still on. I was like, okay, what's going on here? But I was getting like 8 amps straight to the bus bar, so that's fine. So what I need to do now, before I can close up the bottom and start loading these batteries in, I've got my fuse here, which goes from the DC to DC. I need to link this into there. I need to do a little bit of electronic work to get these all connected in place. So I've got these battery switches, and then you need to hook them all together with these. These have got some type of special name, these types of wires. I can't remember what they're called. They're called something, I know that. So I've then got to get all those things plugged in, which I think I can do. Only problem is I don't have a big crimping tool. My mate Mark, who has this sweet little Jeep, I'll put a video of that sweet little Jeep in right now. So Mark turned up this morning chasing the stainless guy, as most people are in this yard, and he turned up in this thing. Turned up, he said, let's go find the Nazis and kill them. No, he didn't. This is Mark.
Hi.
Chris, there you go, mate.
Cheers, buddy. This is the golden moment. Let's see if she starts.
How do you start this thing?
In neutral first.
The what?
Stick it in neutral.
Too many gear levers, man. Did he tell you he lost his car in Athens for 3 hours yesterday?
No.
Yeah, that wasn't very useful. Huh?
Yeah! What do you think about this?
I love it, it's amazing. Welcome back. So he's got a crimping tool which he lent me, and I then went and tried to buy one from the shop, and no one has got any crimping tools for like 50mm wire. Because I've got 3 batteries down below and then I've got 3 batteries up above, I've got basically 2 separate banks, one down there, one here. However, they're all connected in parallel. They're all one battery bank. Now, the wires in between each battery need to be the same length. However, because I've got one bank lower down than the other, I now need to make all the batteries have the same length cables. However, one of those cables, which joins those 2 batteries together, the 3 below to the 3 above, is going to be quite long, so all of them need to be the same length. So we're about to cut the cables for all the batteries. I've got this stuff, which is 70mm square. I don't know what that means in American size. Big. So I need to make 5 at 370 and then 1 at 300. Got my little cheese block here that I'm using for cutting everything. This is my workbench, ginormous polystyrene block. It's got my disc cutter, got this, got my safety goggles, Ray-Bons, and then I've got all my little terminal ends here. So I've got these, and I've got my big crimper. This is a big bugger, it goes up to 240. Can't imagine you could do that with your hands. Maybe you can, who knows. So cool, got all this stuff, got my heat gun there. In my pocket I have a bunch of these little heat shrink stuff, so I'm going to do this outside as well. The boat is boiling, so I don't want to heat it up any more than I need to. Cool, right, so that's all these cut. Right, so I'm now getting the terminals on all the ends of these. Cool, so I'm just going to do one and show you. So I'm just going to get the heat shrink on now. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Cool, that is one done, all nice. Yo, so I'm about to get, bit annoying. Right, so I'm about to get all my cables connected. Here they all are, all cut to size, bent in the right shapes. So I'm going to start loading them up in here. These are all hooked up. This is the bottom one. Those are all in there, nice and tight. Negative is connected at the bottom, positive is connected on the top. I've got my 2 sides here taped up so I don't murder myself. And yeah, now I just need to get these communications cables in there. So I'm going to do that now. Right, that was knackering. That was, I don't know how much water I've lost. I know I need to drink some. That was absolutely exhausting. The temperature inside this boat is 39 degrees. And the sun's gone down. It's like 7:30 and it's 39 degrees in the boat. I don't know how to describe that for Americans. I don't know Fahrenheit, but it's fucking hot. So they're in. They're in there, and the power in the boat. Morning internet. We were up bright and early this morning. I fell asleep at 2 o'clock, knackered, and woke up to what could only be described as a miracle, appearing on the back of my boat. Stainless guy turned up 40 minutes past 6. It's a bit early, but I appreciated it nonetheless. Woke up to Christopher Foster here.
Morning internet.
On the ciggies at 6:40, loving life. He's on his second coffee now. I made him a brew, which is sunk.
That's gone.
He's had a couple of biscuits.
Morning. Nice and chilled.
Biscuits stored inside the backy bucket. It's a good name actually, the backy bucket. It's alright, isn't it? So we've got the solar panels up. Oops, sorry mate. They're up here. Need to get them wired in. I think he needs to come back and grind that off. Then this is Manolis. Come back. This is the internet Manolis.
Ah, okay.
Internet, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So he's got the netting up here, which is looking good. Finishing the net Manolis. I connected 2 of the middle ones just so I can test them out to make sure they're working. They are. So I've got this panel plugged in, and I've got these 2 which I need to plug in now. So these back panels here, the new ones, they're going in series. These 2, the old ones, are in parallel. So this is 500 watts, and then this is, I think, 700 watts here. Positives are connecting up to minuses, and we're connecting them all together. Is 12 volts, which are parallel, go into 1 MPPT, and then we've got 3 175s in series. So I got my shipment this morning from svb24.com. They're like, I think they're probably the biggest online channel for Europe, I'd say. So I got all of my paint. So I've got my Perfection Flag Blue, which is the top coat. So that's the gloss finish. So I've got all that stuff there. In this big box I've got my undercoat here. Sorry, we've got someone using a power washer over there, getting all their charter boats ready. He's actually a really nice guy, the guy who owns the boats. So this is actually in blue also, which is cool, which just means that that first coat that you're going to put on, even if it's not 100% and you can see through it kind of, you got blue underneath as well, which is cool. So that's really nice. So I've got 2 of these for 1 coat of undercoat around the boat. And then I think I've got 16 of these, which is going to be for 2 top coats, which should be enough. I'll probably put another coat on in a few years, something like that, but that's definitely going to be enough for now. I'm in the aft locker where I've got access to the steering here, the exhausts, that which is going to come out. So what I'm going to do, we've taken the hydraulic gangway off because I don't need it, it's not going to be a marina boat. And I've got a few holes, you know, dotted around here. These aren't so much a problem. I can just fill these in with some like epoxy filler. I'll just put some duct tape on the back, and they're small enough, so that'll be okay. But these 2 here, where all the wires ran through, is too big. So basically what I'm going to do is put a sheet of fiberglass on the back here. Then I'm going to fill these with epoxy and just a bunch of fiberglass dust. I can't actually get micro bowls here, which is what I wanted to use for this, which are great because they expand when you put them in, but I can't find them. So I've got a bunch of fiberglass. I'm just going to cut a load of that up, basically seal it at the front with some duct tape, then just pour it in so I get a nice flat surface to it. Then I can just like grind it down and put some filler over the top. Right, so this is the epoxy that I almost didn't have. So this is the epoxy that I've got. This is a Greek brand, but this is what all the builders in the yard use here. So everybody recommended it. The guy in the shop said it's just as good as West Systems, and it's called Hercules, so you shouldn't lie to me. So yeah, it's a 2-part and it's measured by weight, 2 to 1. So I've got that stuff there. Got my little scales that I bought, measuring thing. Just going to cut up the fiberglass here, and then yeah, we're going to get working. Should do the trick. Cool, so I'm just going to mix some of the epoxy filler for the small holes. This is the 2-part. Got a diarrhea looking one and a white one, so this is like a 1-to-1 by weight. So I've got my little scales here, and then this is just going to be for the small holes on the back. Cool, so I've got a bunch of the fiberglass strands cut up in there. Now I'm going to mix some of the epoxy in one of these, mix it up, and then get it in that hole. Cool, so that's how that's now looking. Looks pretty disgusting. But it'll be strong. Right, so these are the 2 holes that I'm filling up here. I've got some epoxy putty on these other holes, which I'll sand down. Cool, so that's good enough there. Just got the little bit at the top, which I think I'll just fill in with normal epoxy putty. Making good progress with the sanding. I managed to find a really decent scaffold with like 2 tiers on it, which is actually perfect, so I can get like up and then I can get down a little bit as well. So just getting a good key in here, going around the edges. You can see here, this is where it's taken a bunch of bangs. So I've sanded that down, keyed in some of these areas, and there's areas where it does follow the correct shape, so I can follow them round as I sand it down as I go. So yeah, I've just made a bit of progress down the side here. That's good enough. It's looking good. I've got a long way to go. So this is where I'm up to. It's going pretty well, so I'm keying it in, getting rid of the high spots from where we've had like multiple layers of paint and all that. It's not going to be perfect, but it's definitely going to be good enough, and considering this paint job will cost me about $1,000, so I'm going to be pretty happy with this. So this here, I'm using the 125 discs, not that, that's a 60 for getting the sand off, like that. Sorry, for getting the vinyl stuff off and the boot stripe. And then for this space here, I've just started using my little triangle one, because I can dig it into the gaps, which is way better than doing it by hand. And then I'm just going over it like that when I've finished. So getting there. So I've got about 2/3 of one side done. I think this is about a day's work. I want to get it all washed, get all this dust off. This is it here, my spotty boat. I know it looks like shit, but it's actually quite rewarding looking at it, because there's like so much hard work gone into it. So there we go, ready for a coat of primer. It's really funny, there's a seamstress who comes and like she works on a few boats, and she's got like a little Volkswagen convertible, and when the sun's out she just turns up blasting Celine Dion. Bless her. Nothing wrong with Celine Dion, lovely French Canadian lady. Right, cool, so this is the main one here. So some of these I'm not going to bother with, but where I've got these larger cracks like here and there, and probably this one, I'm going to Dremel these out, and then I'm just going to fair this whole area. I'm not going to bother Dremeling here because I think paint would just go straight over that anyway. But yeah, some of these larger ones, I'm just going to Dremel these out before I mix the putty. So I'll do that now. Right, so I'll show you what I'm doing. So I've got this here. So I've just like squashed over the little hairline bits just to see if any stuff will get inside there, maybe make it a bit more flat for painting. And then where the cracks are, I'm just leaving a bit more stuff on there. It tends to shrink a little bit, so I'm just building it up. Right, so it's this part. So might not look that bad from there, but if you look from the side, you can see it's just taken loads of dings. So I'm just going to build this all up flat, so it comes to a point, and then I'll sand it down, make it a bit smoother. It's mostly just at that side. Yeah, that side looks okay, so yeah, it's mostly just this point here. Cool, so that's the finish I've got on there. So that's looking rough, but I've managed to bring it up here, bring it up there. So hopefully when I sand that down, I'll be able to like continue this curve round here. There might be a couple of points where it's not worked out, but I'll just put some light filler in then, and that should be good. So my other spotty bits. I have the spottiest boat in the yard. Cool, so I'm up at the bow of the boat. First thing I've got to do, well, not got to, but gonna do, is sand this back. So this is some of the hard epoxy that I put on. This is where it's just been banged over the ears of the anchor. So I've actually got a stainless steel piece being made that's going to protect the bow. It's going to go down to about here, I think. So that'll protect all that. Need to sand all this back. Oh, a little bit of fill in there, I didn't notice that. Cool, so I've done a first run on this, and this part is actually okay. There's a couple of little spots where I need to fill in where the epoxy putty has just run a little bit. Got all the masking tape around the tow rail, although it doesn't serve as much as a tow rail, it's just a big long piece of teak. Which is bullshit, by the way. Why don't they put actual tow rails on boats anymore? That's like, look at this do4 here. Put all your tackle on here, get some blocks on there. You know, that's actually useful. I've just got a piece of wood. Bollocks. Yeah, just getting this sorted. Gonna put the masking tape around the waterline now and around the windows, and then this is all set. Right, so this is a 3-to-1 mix, and I've just dumped some of the white in here to mix this up. So I've got, this is really thick stuff. So I've got the number 9 Perfection thinner, which I think I'm gonna have to put quite a bit in actually, because this is pretty thick, unless the curing agent like really thins it down. Yeah, this is pretty liquid actually, so this might thin it down quite a bit also. This is thinner number 9. This is the thinner that you use for Perfection. That's about 10% thinners, which looks nicer. That looks like a pretty nice consistency. Right, so I've got the first coat of undercoat on. Here it is. Looking blue. Success! I think it's a learning experience. I've never done this before. I've painted loads of stuff around the house. I've painted, I've used a spray gun. I've sprayed a car before, that works. But yeah, I've never used this paint roll and tip method. It takes a long time, but like obviously if you were gonna be using a spray gun, you'd just get your entire boat prepped, and then you know you'd just be like, you just literally do the whole thing. It wouldn't actually take you that long. But there's other complications to that, isn't there? So it's not as straightforward as it sounds, I suppose. We're going to start sanding the hull down a bit with this.
It's beautiful.
This video is sponsored by, who makes this stuff? P400. It's sponsored by
That's the great.
It's sponsored by P400. They've given us
silicon carbide finishing paper. It's beautiful stuff.
They've given us 10 pieces of sanding paper. It was a big sponsorship. I've been working on this for a while, so that's sorted.
Yeah, I think you got shortchanged. There's only 6.
There's only 6.
You're supposed to get 10.
Damn it, man! They're cheap, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, and anyway, so
you can get round a 50-foot boat with 6 sheets of paper.
6 sheets I should have got more of that. Faux pas. So we're going to start sanding this side first because there's not as much sun. Then we're going to move on to the trans. No, we can sand the transom later. That don't matter. Yeah. Then we're going to sand that side. It's not too much because it's only spots. We're hand sanding because there's just dips all over the gel coat. So if we put the orbital on it, it'll just keep on taking the paint off. So hand sanding transom. Hello, for those who don't recognise me because I look like a Smurf or an Avatar alien. I'm Andrew. This is Chris. How did I end up looking so stupid and you are basically looking like I work hard, you see? That's what it is. I work hard.
The reality of it is that Andrew's been down putting makeup on while I've been working.
I'm trying to do something new here. So Chris is just finishing off this Last awkward bit here. And then this is basically it. So this is hopefully the last sanding we'll do with any undercoat. Yeah, we've got a nice finish. It's 320. It's looking good, it's looking smooth. Got a few little white bits here, but we're not that bothered about those because we're not perfectionists. But we're great at what we do, so we know we're going to get a good finish. Although we've never done this before. Optimism. So yeah, we've got all that done. We'll give it a hose down. We can't paint tomorrow because it's what is it tomorrow? It's windy tomorrow. Yeah, it's windy tomorrow. It's raining right now actually. Look at that cloud. I don't know if it's that one that's raining.
It's really bad weather in Greece.
Might be that one. But yeah, so it's windy tomorrow. Apparently there's like 25 knots coming through. So we've heard. That's what the locals are saying. The weather forecast says 7. So I don't know who to believe. The meteorologists or the people in the yard. So yeah, we're gonna finish this now, and then we've got, what the bloody hell's that?
That's filler.
Oh, is that filler? When?
Yeah.
What did you put that in?
I did, yeah.
Oh right, sweet. Maybe I'll stop touching it then. So I'm gonna do the last bit now. I'm gonna sand the final bit off.
Let me take this. I can.
Chris is gonna take you.
I'm not.
Chris is now directing this operation.
I am directing the operation. Here we go, guys. This is it.
We got 400, or is it 320?
Voyager.
This episode was sponsored by P400, so
yeah.
This final piece here.
P400 failed though, didn't it? So we had to get a new sponsor. Right at the top, mate.
We're going this one here.
Right there.
Oh, let's feel it, mate.
See how much work he's really been doing? He can't even find a shiny spot.
I feel it, and Chris sands it. That's the way I'm like, yeah, sand that bit. Right, here we go.
Get in.
Mate, I'm doing a great job here. You wanna? Oh yeah.
How's it feel though?
Thanks, feels great.
How many days have you been standing for?
What, in total?
Yeah.
I think I've done about 12 days of solid sanding. But literally like wake up in the morning and then stop when it's like that. It looks bright on the camera. It's not, I swear. What time is it?
Don't know.
It's like 8 o'clock. You can't tell the time upside down.
I can't do it all. 20 past 8, yeah.
20 past 8. So we put in long days here at Voyager. We work hard. There you go, done. Oh no, hang on.
Feels like an achievement.
Done.
Celebrate with a kebab, maybe?
Anything? Mate, I think we should celebrate with a chicken kebab. Let's go and do it. Let's go and do it.
Here you go, mate.
I'll say I want to take this opportunity to thank Chris for watching me work. The past 2 days.
Work your ticket.
Right, we're about to start. We're about to start painting hull numero uno, pass numero uno. Let's cool down.
Top's hot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Scorpio.
We'll just be quick on the top. You ever said painting in Greece in spring wasn't a good idea? Was wrong, and we're going to prove them wrong. Oh, we're going to prove them right. We'll see.
One or the other. There's only one way to find out.
What's this called?
Tack rag.
This is a tack rag. We're using it to get stuff off.
And if you don't have a tack rag, you can use any rag with some varnish on it, but not too much.
You can use a sock. You can use a pair of underpants with some varnish on it. Right, we're going to start painting. Enough bullshit. You just sprayed thinners all over me.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Is it on me? You're going to paint it off?
Just a little bit.
Right, we're starting. Get my mixing skills out. Mixologist.
What colour is that, mate?
It's flag blue.
Flag blue.
For now. Let's see. This is the figure of 8.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, figure of 8, and that needs to be horizontal.
Is that right?
That's right. You should know this.
Is that?
You do know.
Where did you learn that?
There.
What, on the floor?
Yeah, like a minute ago. I was like, this is the best technique, I'm sure of it. Bruce is now getting it down. So we're figuring out what's best to roll it and tip it, or just roll it and then pass over it with the sander and then buff the surface out afterwards. And I think we're going to go with the latter. I think it's going on well, mate.
I've seen better, but it's only play the cards you've been dealt, eh?
Yeah, that's it, man.
Proper body
job. Getting a nice shine, mate. Nice shine.
It's all in the paint, but
You look more handsome in your reflection.
No,
For Chris there.
it's beautiful, that, isn't it?
We wanted to wake up in the morning and start work and be productive, but we decided to drink a lot of alcohol last night, and we actually got on the shots like as soon as we started drinking. Which we weren't going to do, but Chris, you know. Yeah, you.
It's not likely.
No, it's not likely, Chris. So, Chris is starting on a bit of the hand business here.
Yeah, we're just rubbing out some of the old test patches. We learned a lot with this.
Yeah.
International perfection. Takes a bit to think about at first, but I tell you what, once you nail it, the finish is superb. It's
but it takes it takes a bit of figuring out though, doesn't it, to actually get the perfection.
If you want that Sail Hub approved finish, it needs to be perfection.
That's what it. Yeah, that's exactly true.
It's taken a long time to get to that level of steam with our.
That was powerful. And actually, some of it I think turned out really well.
It's good.
And then some of it turned out horribly. So we're sanding back with some pretty coarse paper. Some of the places where we got runs, we were experimenting with the thinners on the transom. Sail Hub recommendation. And now I've got the little handpiece. I'm doing thousands of circles, getting my RPMs up. And then we've got Chris over here, who's got the orbital. Saying, Andy, your orbital's too strong. That's looking nice. Yeah, mate, I think. Any sorry. Again. Any final thoughts?
What, on today or just in general?
Life. One piece of advice.
One piece of advice?
Yeah. What would it be?
Keep it wet.
Keep it wet? The sandpaper?
Well, just life.
Just everything. Keep it sloppy. Dirty Johnny boy. This is a shout out for a new podcast that I was a guest on called The Funny Boat Podcast. It's hosted by a very nice brown haired lady called Captain Boomies and her noble steed, a very handsome boat broker called Ed Pickering, also known as the Bearded Broker. We had a wonderful conversation about Skynet, the CIA and bearded women. I'll put a link in the description, hope you enjoy it. So if you need sausage rollers for painting but you can't find them, this is what you do. Do the Christopher Foster Sail Hub approved method of making sausage rollers. 3/4 of the way through is Foster Christopher. How does it feel to get the final coat on, mate?
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful day!
It's a good day, yeah.
What do we call the final coat?
Well, the final coat's been named after a rather famous sailor.
Now I'm going to traverse myself onto this scaffold. Ooh. That's easy. Now you can watch us paint this final bit here. Hello, right, we're nearly done. We've just got this one bit left here that we need to towel off. Just started raining a little bit, which could be a disaster, but we're keeping our spirits high, aren't we, Chris?
Oh yeah.
This is not going to be a problem.
Comes naturally.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of rain in the paint, that can only destroy it, really.
Just adds to the interest, mate.
Yeah. I think it'll be alright. It's only a tiny bit, and it seems like it's just landing on the tow rail part here, which...
Oh, you're landing on the boat, eh?
Yeah, it's only landing on the paint part of the boat. Not a big problem. Right, so now I'm up to getting on the scaffold. Now I'm up to matting the boat. So this is the finish, a bit dirty, got loads of rain on it and crap, and that is what we're going for over there. So I'll show you how I'm doing this. I've got pads with 400 on, and then I've got pads with 800 on. So the 400, I'm going over this to get it flat. Now it looks like a pretty decent finish there, nice mirror effect. Once you get a 400 grit on it and you start to take down the first couple of no, maybe like I don't know, like the last layer, it's super blotchy. Like you can kind of see if you look up close, loads of little dimples. So the only way to get like a really flat finish on this is to sand it back. Now what I could do in the future if I wanted to is just get a polisher on this, and then I would have a perfect mirror finish, but I want to try going for a matte finish. I really like the look, I prefer it, and every other boat you see like this has got like a nice shiny blue hull and a red bottom, and I just wanted to do something different. So I really like it so far. I'll show you what I'm doing, you can watch. So you can see when you put the sander on it how blotchy it actually is. So this is the joint, which again you can't really see, but then you can see all the orange peel there. Try and get the focus in. There you go. So even just spraying it, you get this. The only way to get like a real perfectly flat finish is to knock it back. So I'm going to go all the way across to the 400, then I go over with the 800 twice to get a really nice finish. Cool, so that is sanding on the hull done. There she is. Looking good. So there's still a bit to do. What I need to do yet is put the boot stripe on, and then I also need to put the stripe inside the cove. I need to take off the tape from around the windows, and then I need to seeker around that, and then basically all the rest I've got to do for the exterior of the boat is just another coat of anti-foul. I'm going to put the Sun Odyssey sticker on, which goes in between these two covings up here. I've got a little bit of water and a towel, wash it down. Right, so I'm currently putting on the boot stripe with the masking tape. This is the only part, well, it's not the only part I'm nervous about. I've been nervous about lots of things on this boat, but it's the only bit I'm unsure of, and I might bugger this up because I've never done it before, and trying to get the masking tape perfect is pretty difficult. The anti-foul line is not straight, so I haven't really got anything to work off, and I haven't got anyone to help me out on this. Chris was gonna do this, but then he went back, and then it's going to be coming again, and I kind of need to do it because I need the paint to like cure really solid before it goes into the straps for the lift. So I'll show you what I'm doing. So you can see here, it looks all right really there. Of course, I've just got the masking tape on the coving, which is up there. That's easier because I've got lines to follow. I don't have to try and make new lines. So this is how it turned out, and I love it. I didn't film painting the grey lines on the boat as it was boring and I was hungry, and I still need to do a ceramic coating on the top sides, which I'll do next year. But this is 30 grand saved. So all around, a happy sailor. Yo, so a new day. I'm covered in black dust today instead of blue dust, so that makes a nice change. So I power washed the hull, both sides, a couple of days ago to basically like blast away all the loose stuff. And what I'm going to do, ideally I wanted it sandblasting, but it's like I said, the price is just insane here. So sandblasted, power washed, I got quite a bit of stuff off, but what I need to now do is basically do that. I've got to sand everywhere and kind of make it dry and uniform so I can get a nice smooth surface. Some of it is like pretty decent, it's stuck on quite hard, and then the rest of the place looks like some type of bizarre otherworldly planetary map. Yeah, this is what I'm doing now. I've done that side, about to do this side, and then I'm going to go around with the sander. I've got some 40 grit, which should hopefully eat away at this anti-foul pretty quick, and yeah, wish me luck. Yo, so I've got all the bottom ready. I've got 2 layers of primer on all the spots that needed primer. I've got a spotty looking boat again, it's looking pretty nice. So we're going for grey for the primer. Grey for the anti-foul. So we've got grey down here, we're going to have a grey boot stripe, then we're going to have a grey cove line, and then the writing on the back is going to be grey as well. Basically I got international, you can probably see this one here, it's called Dover White. So I've got 2 big Dover Whites, 5 litre, 2.5 litre. I've got a little can of black, and I'm just going to mix up a nice grey. It's all the same stuff, so should work. Fingers crossed. Right, so I've mixed up the anti-foul, and this is what I'm coming up with. That's it without any black added, not very good. That's it with a bit of black added, that's it with more black added, and I think I'm going to go with that, because I want it to be like a platinum, like a very light grey. And I don't want it to look like primer, but I think that is probably about right. So I'm mixing in my big bucket. So yeah, I'll add some more black to it. So I've got the shape for my navigation panel set up here. So this is the shape of it here. This side I need to do a 45-degree angle going that way because it like slides into the instrument panel. So I'm just going to get this cut out like here and there, so I've got an easier piece to deal with, and then I'm going to start getting my holes in. Got a bit of a breeze here now. Right, I've got my first one marked here. So this one is for generator. So this is where the generator's going. The holder for the radio bit is there, the hand piece. Then here's going the actual radio. Down there we've got some of the 12-volt chargers, which I'm going to install later, because the chuck that I got for the hole saw is the wrong size chuck, even though it was literally on the same rack, so that's quite irritating. So yeah, I'm just going to do this one now and give this a shot, see how it goes. Yo, so finally got it done. I had to go and change the chuck for the hole saw, and they have, like, as I mentioned before, they have like this half siesta in Greece, or this part of Greece anyway, which is super weird. So yeah, I had to wait till 5 o'clock, but got it anyway. So this is done. Here it is, looking nice. I put some varnish on the top there just to make that a little bit darker so it doesn't stick out. I just used some of this stuff called Stop Arnie. this stuff. That is now gonna go in there like so. Cool, done. There it is. Right, water tank times. 2 out of the 3 water tanks are leaking. The port side one is leaking probably a bit more rapidly than than one of the 2 starboard ones. So anyway, the options are take the stainless steel tanks out, which involves like removing all the cabinetry, and these things are bloody heavy as well, so I'd really try and not do that, or try and seal up the little pinhole gaps. Now I've been trying to find some type of safe like potable water epoxy to do this job, and trying to get anything that actually has like a potable water label on it in Europe as far as epoxy resin goes is impossible. I've not been able to find it at all. However, after doing a bit of research, I found out that when epoxy resin sets, it does not leach any chemicals into water. Therefore, normal epoxy resin should be fine to put in the water tanks. I'm hoping if I die after a year of drinking this water, then it wasn't safe. Anyway, I'm going to give this a shot. I've got some epoxy resin mixed up here. I just need to get in there and just put a slab of epoxy resin around all those joints there. Alright, that's one side done round one, so I'll just show you what I've done. You can just see, like, around the edges. Oh shit. One minute. There you go, so you can see. Get down. So you can see, like, around the edges there. I've just waxed on a load of epoxy resin, hopefully wherever the pinholes are. So I'm going to let this dry. And tomorrow I'm going to put another round on. We'll see how that's gone. If we can't get bottled water, we'll drink from the water tanks, but I don't want to drink like marina water from water tanks, so I got one of these 2 parts. I can't remember the micron. Let me check, it's actually over here. So that's this one. Doesn't make anything clearer for you. So yeah, that's like a normal micron filter that just gets rid of the basic dirt, and then that's a carbon filter which gets sort of like impurities and chemicals. And then I got an installation kit for this. Oh, here it is. It looks really nice. That one. It's just got one little thing there. And then you get filtered water. And then this is going to be installed underneath a sink. I'm going to put it down here. And then I'm going to put here the little tap. So when we want to drink out of the water tanks, which I'd imagine we would at some point, like we don't want to be traipsing, like we don't want to be taking like, you know, gallons and gallons and gallons of bottled water. Yeah, that's what's going on there. So I've now got that installed with no leaks, which is cool. So this is my cold water supply here. Hot water supply. Holy shit, is that a leak? I'm gonna keep my eye on that. So yeah, cold water goes through this one, which is one of the large micron filters, then a carbon filter goes up to there, and I've got this little thing now, which spurts out, hopefully, cleaner water. Morning internet. So, today is the last day for getting the boat ready. We just need to get the tender from Highfield. That should be delivered today, although maybe that'll come on Saturday or Monday. We'll find out. When it gets here is when it gets here. That's Greek business. When it happens, it happens. Don't plan. When it happens, it happens. Greek business. No offense to the Greek, beautiful people. Business, a little bit different. So yeah, got the boat kind of looking a bit more ship shape now. And then we're ready to go. Oh, bow protector. Bow protector's going to go on today. So bit of cleaning, Yeah, cleaning, sorting stuff out, clean the decks. Adrian's going to finish his work. Chris is turning up. We're going to service the engine when it goes in the water. Stressful, man. Can't get ready to get this done, just get in the water. Beer, ciggy, chill out in the cockpit. Looking forward to it. It's necessary. I'm exhausted. This has been a tiring 6 months. This has been exhausting, especially the last week because I've been really rushing. Launch day, and we're away. There she goes. Off into the water. Chris is here, Jen is here. They're getting some stuff from the immigration department. They're getting stamped out of the Schengen, and I'm basically about to drop this boat in the water. Dinghy hasn't turned up yet, so hopefully that'll come in a few days, but there she goes. So we're just going to reverse it into the crane now. And I think this boat needs to leave first, otherwise it'll get squashed by my boat. This is nice, Neil 45. It's done a bunch of work to it. It's been on the hard for a few months. Really cool.
A great success!
So we're out on the water, we've got the comm system going on here. Chris is on.
Come in. Is that Voyager? Come in, Voyager.
Yeah, it is. It's Voyager. On engine, just testing out. We just wanted to give it a bit of a welly with the engine. There was a bit of black smoke coming out. It was just crap around the exhaust. So yeah, we're just doing a little circumnavigation of this private island. Apparently, it's one of Greece's wealthiest people owns this. It's got like a little beach area at the back that looks quite nice. It's cool. What's it saying there now? 7.5 knots, 8.5 through the water. So we've got the chart plotter there, split screen. Got some data here. Autopilot over there.
I'm not an autopilot.
You are the autopilot. So yeah, now we're just going to go back over here and anchor and chill for the day actually. So, first day on anchor. I'm with my good friend Christopher.
Foster Christopher, hanging out by the faucets.
Where'd you come from, Chris?
Where do I come from?
Yeah.
Good old northeast of England.
Sail Telly!
That's where he comes from.
Oh, Sail of Telly!
Sail of Telly.
Don't forget Sail of Telly.
Everything's sailing on the telly.
I see what you mean.
This is my sailing hat. So yeah, first day on anchor. Boat's still a bit messy. Need to tidy it up. Oh, fly's undone. That's not the best, is it? One hand trying to get it up. Got it. There it is. Actually, Chris has got a hat as well, which he should put on. He found that one on the street and he adopted it. It's his now. Right, so we're going to get the sails up now. Most precise sails you can get. Made by a company called Precision. So yeah, we've got, that's the main, yeah? This is the main. Yeah, so we've got the main. Looks like the main, it's got no blue on it. So main sail here, just need to figure out how to rig it up. Actually, we need to cut one of those pins down and put a hole in it. Remember Christian brought it for us? Oh, yeah. It was longer, so we need to do that. Here's the battens. So they send you all the battens, they join together with little metal clips. Nicely labelled. Nice fiberglass that doesn't give you splinters. Batten 4, batten 2, batten 3, batten 1. Could have said that a different way around, would have made more sense. Never mind. So Chris rigged up a snubber, which is nice. So that's going down there. I've got 30 metres of chain out. I think we're in 6 metres of water, but it's a pretty spacious anchorage. Ready to go. Mainsail time.
Telly.
Mate, show me your hat. Check out that cap.
Look at that, man. Sail up telly, right there.
Put that there.
You see that? Cheap. Okay. What do you reckon the best way to attach the head is onto there, mate? Right, so I'm down here, giving Chris the direction. I'm doing the hard work. Don't be fooled by him up there getting sweaty with his sun cream on. Hard work's going on down here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
As per usual.
Over there, there's a bare-ass naked German on that boat over there. A lot of nudism with the Germans. Lovely folk, very naked. So these Germans are naked. There was some more naked Germans. I think there was the French were naked as well before. They weren't naked. This guy here. So we anchored up. There's probably about 40 metres. There's more than 40 metres. There's about 60 metres in between us.
He was just trying to show you his chain, mate.
I just think he wanted to show us his knob. So so he's naked on the front of his bow. He runs to the back of his boat. He was like, "What are you doing? No, I have 50 metres. I have 50 metres." His little Willie swinging all over the place in the wind, but he stood proud. Have I got a pin? That German's got a little pin. Check this out. Precision sail, Jeanneau. It's the wrong size.
Too big.
That's too big.
Yeah, we need the Goldilocks forge this time.
So here it is. I think I showed you this before in a different clip, but anyway.
Precision sail. Beautiful piece.
It really is. It's really, really well made. It's gorgeous. So we're getting the Jeanneau up. Right, I need to get a smaller one than this. That's what Chris says. Let's get it.
That's something else, you know.
Nice job, mate.
Yeah, good job.
Well done. You heard nothing. Right, so look at us all sweaty. Actually, you got breeze, you're not sweaty.
Yeah, no, I just have fitly strong, that's all.
Yeah, I'm just unfit. I just smoke too much and drink too much. So there it is. Head sail up. Use this off with it.
There it is, we have a head sail. It's glorious. Beautiful. Enjoying a nice night on anchor here.
Yeah, beautiful spot.
First night at anchor.
First night on anchor.
Nice to be afloat.
It's very nice to be afloat.
If anyone is considering a refit project of their own and would like some advice on boat purchases or renovation work, join our Patreon community. We've helped a bunch of other cruisers with the refit work. You'll also get first access to the Odyssey Sailing Festival tickets and opportunities to come crew on our boat. Follow the link in the description. Cheers!